Greetings from Shed Sound Studio here in rural West Virginia. My name is Ian Beabout, and today I thought I would take a moment and answer a question which has popped up pretty often on my Facebook page lately. So I've been doing a lot of vinyl LP transfers from analog to digital, and a lot of people are saying, hey, how do you do that? What kind of turntable do you use? Do you edit the clips afterwards? So I thought I would use this opportunity and talk about that a little bit. So today we're going to transfer this Rush album. This is Clockwork Angels, released in 2012. And this is, unfortunately, the very last Rush studio album. And I was lucky enough to see them on this tour. And I think I bought this album at Nearfest, which was a prog rock festival in Bethlehem, PA. But the one thing that's always bugged me about this album is that while it was a really nice return to form, particularly to the 70s era of Rush, it was always mastered a little bit heavily. So I thought I would take this opportunity, since people have been asking, and digitize this record and go through my process a little bit. So let's get started. So I use a Audio-Technica ATP 120 USB turntable, which comes equipped with this USB, I guess you'd call this an interface, because it does connect directly through the USB port. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and run it through the other side of the wall and plug directly into my MacBook. So I use Audacity to transfer, and you want to make sure you have it set to the USB audio and the output to your interface, which in my case is the Scarlett, and arm the recording. The reason why I like to use Audacity is simply because there's no way to hook up the USB via my Scarlett interface. So I will track through Audacity and edit on Pro Tools. So here we're going to put the record on. And as you can see, it's a brand new copy, nice and clean. I don't think I've played this more than once. And after a nice, thorough cleaning, you should always clean your records. It keeps your stylus safe, and it keeps the records in pristine condition. But after a nice, thorough cleaning of the record's surface, we're all ready to start tracking. So I love how the Audio-Technica ATP 120 has the option of unlocking the stylus. It's got this little system here where instead of you having to drop it on a spinning record, which has always made me nervous, you can just release this lever here, like so, and it drops directly on the record's surface. So all you have to do is just press play, and it falls right into the groove. So now that we got the record spinning, go back over to Audacity, where you can see that it is well underway transferring from the vinyl source over to a digital source. So once the side's over, we simply lift up the dust cover and pull up the lever so as to pick up the stylus from the disc without scratching it, and carefully pull it over and lock it back in. So what I've done here is I've only transferred side one as an illustration for this video. Later on, I will transfer sides 2, 3, and 4. So you can see here that the entire side exists now in Audacity. I am going to export it as a uncompressed WAV file. You'll see here, I'll take a moment to name it and save it. And so the next step is to boot up Pro Tools, which is my editing DAW. I know that Audacity you can do pretty much all this stuff on. I'm just so much more used to using Pro Tools in my day-to-day work that I prefer to use it as an editing software just in general. I think it's much easier to use than something like Audacity. So the next step is to import the audio, which is right here. And some people have asked what kind of post-production I do. These aren't going to be my listening copies. I really have no interest in using these as listening copies, although this one might be. I might go up and clean up some pops and clicks here and there on this one just because the CD version is so heavily compressed compared to the vinyl. But my first step is usually to add a master fader just to see what kind of volume I'm getting. And as you can see, this is quite a bit lower than what you'd expect from a digital file. So I go ahead and raise it, and oftentimes I'll find the loudest part of the source and make sure that that's just touching the red. Usually that will not result in very much distortion. It's negligible at best. So I went ahead and added a fade at the beginning so it just comes in naturally. And I'm going to divide this up into tracks in case later on down the road I decide to index this for a CD or an iPod listening copy. And as you can see, there's only 3 songs on side 1. This is definitely a prog rock album with songs going well above 6 and 7 and 9 minutes. All right, so I will bounce these individually later on when I decide to listen to them, and fix all of the endings so that things sound smooth and you don't hear the sound of me picking the needle up. And of course, always save. Save even when you don't think you need to, because you never know. You just never know. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this video. I hope this answers some questions about the work that I'm doing transferring my LP collection to digital. Please feel free, if you have any additional questions, to write me in the comment box below. I would love to open up a discourse about this and offer any kind of advice I may have. Once again, my name is Ian Beabout, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.